see if it connects to the Twitch here. There it is. We are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the JH Show. We are live on our new podcast channel. Jesus. All right. So if you haven't, listen, bruh, I'm high as shit. Okay. If you
Dude,
haven't
same
followed us
here.
before, obviously we are a bunch of stoners that talk about a lot of interesting topics. So
Yay, weed.
weed is great. For the past 2 episodes, we've talked about this show called Weed Etiquette. It's pretty interesting to see that this. I don't know. The documentary's been really good and kind of interesting to watch. So through the different parts, and I've enjoyed it. I don't know about you guys, but I've had fun with it.
I mean, I recommended it to you because I liked it.
You know, it's really good. I'm very impressed, but I wish it was more advertised. That's the other thing is I would like more people to see this just so they can get that knowledge.
Well, dude, it's Vice. You mean
Yeah.
Vice is like one of the most biggest extremists, or I really don't know, but most of the shit that they've got on air there, dude, it's very extreme.
Yeah.
It's very graphic.
Yeah, this is
and it's
on
very
Hulu.
violent.
And the other thing we watch is if we're not watching Weed Etiquette or we have a lot of time, after watch Bong Appetit, which talks about marijuana-infused foods.
Yeah,
They do the
that's
foods
really
in different
cool.
cultures, the history of
really, really
marijuana,
cool.
like a little bit on the history
Yeah.
and the culture. And then, usually at the dinners, there's somebody who uses or advocates for marijuana either for medical reasons or for the reasons of other people.
Yeah.
There's a girl that came on there for Crohn's, which I have, and medicating is easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Medicating is easy, but it's just the coolest fucking shit ever. Okay?
Yeah, weed is
Is.
weed is peaceful. Like nobody should. I don't know. I don't think anybody that does it recreationally.
The argument of alcohol versus weed. No one takes a puff of a joint and wants to, beat somebody up or do something indecent.
Yeah, we're not. I mean, there are exceptions. Like you do have the.
There are, but belligerence is not something that's typically associated with marijuana and
the same accountability as alcohol. But so the episode talked about laws that are I hate getting political with this, but I this episode really focused heavily on the laws with marijuana and focused
mostly
on a case that was the three-strike law. It was a case that was in New Orleans. I can't remember the
Which, by the way, we should point out has the highest incarceration rate known to the entire United States, as it covered.
And the crime we're talking about was committed in, specifically you said the case was 2010. This is 5 years later when people were, advocating to have the sentence lowered. He had been caught twice with cocaine, and his third offense was getting caught with marijuana, 2 joints in his pocket. And because it was his third time within possession of drugs, they used the third strike law, which involves a maximum minimum penalty, sending this guy to jail for 13 and a third years.
So basically, how the law works was you, if you get caught with weed one time, that's a strike. 2 times, it's a strike. But since he had 2 joints, it counted as 2 strikes, and it kind of fucked him over. So,
no, he had 2 previous ones of cocaine.
Oh, is that what it was?
Two previous counts of having possession of cocaine, and that's possession of drugs, which still applies even if it's something like marijuana.
Right. So because he had all that, his sentence was higher. It was what, 13 and a third?
13 and a third year, and that wasn't what he was originally sentenced to. Because what happened is a particular judge who wanted to, strike hard on all crimes, which includes, marijuana, drug laws, because those are the easiest to crack down on.
No, that was the district attorney.
There you go. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
See, and then he took it back to court 4 times until he found a judge that would give him the maximum penalty for it and had it increased.
Yep.
And that's when everybody started advocating 5 years later after his incarceration, where he had already served half of his time at least, to have it extended because he could keep taking it back to a judge based upon the third offender law. And they did pass a law, but it did not take marijuana away from the 3 strikes law because they amended it, and it basically still didn't, do as much. It helped, but it not with anything that people were trying to free people for.
Right.
And can I also ask, how long ago was this episode that you
So-
saw?
Well, we said this case was in 2010. This was in 2015 when they were starting to re-argue the lowerment of his time after he
Yeah.
hit max prosecution.
Yeah.
But when was the episode aired?
2016.
This whole thing was.
So he's probably
This was done in
probably if
2015.
2013, 2016, somewhere around
Well,
there.
the whole thing started. 2012?
It started 2010. This episode was filmed 2015 when he got extended
Yeah.
his sentence, and everybody was advocating him because that's when it was big, and that's when they went and recorded. This was 2015, and the entire series of this show came out in 2016, but he was originally sentenced in 2010 for a shorter sentence.
Right.
Okay.
So, but the thing is, the whole episode was trying to, kind of bring light to a lot of people, like to let people know that this is what the small things. This dude was really successful. He had a nice business. I mean, everything was going well for him.
He owned a garage. He owned a
Yeah.
shop. He went down to talk to his dad,
Super nice.
and a cop
dude.
just happened to, pull him over. He's like, they don't know you. They'll pull you over. They'll search you, and
Yep.
they did, and that's how he got caught.
It's so dumb.
Just for being somewhere that he normally wasn't, just to see a family member walking down the street.
Yep.
I mean, before all that, he really was kind of a jack of all trades.
He did get caught twice prior with possession of cocaine.
Right.
But the thing is, he got charged for this in 2010, right?
Yes.
The first drug charge he had for possession of cocaine was in the 90s. And they said the second charge he got for cocaine possession was in the early 2000s. So they extended, a 20-year period, of up to him doing that so that he could pull crimes that he could have done further back than that and still use it against him to that day, because they technically used two prior crimes about 5 to 10 years apart,
Right.
and then use those again another 5 to 6 years later.
Yep.
I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go use the restroom.
He's gonna go find Wolf.
What?
Yeah, go find Wolf for us.
Go find other Wolf.
I have no idea where the fucker went. give me 5 minutes. Give me 5 minutes.
You're good. Yeah, it was a interesting episode for sure, but it's frustrating because I guess I can announce this on the podcast because it is a matter of public record, but yeah, so I get pulled over and I had been I partied.
Brake light.
I have a brake light out. I didn't know that, and so the officer pulls me over, and I get out. I'm a little nervous because I didn't have insurance, so I was like, but anyway, he's like, well, I can kind of guess that you might smoke marijuana. And I'm like, yeah, like I do at home, but never in the car. He's like, all right. Is there anything in here you don't want me to know about? And I'm nervous as shit because
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think so. You can search it. Like, I wasn't. Anyway, so I get out. They pat me down. This is all because I didn't have insurance, by the way. So,
Okay.
everything's going good. They're searching.
You didn't
the
go to
car.
jail for this, did you?
No.
No.
Okay.
So I'll explain this in a minute. So they search the car and they pull out this pen, which is a stizzy. My friend, yeah, that fucking thing right there, stizzies. They pull that out and they were like, "What's this?" I'm like, "Oh shit." My friend had left his stizzy in my car, and I'm like, "Fuck!" Like, I'm gonna get a charge for this because it's if you don't have your medical card in Utah, you can't have that at all. So I was like, "Fuck!" All right. So, yeah, I got a fucking possession charge, and it's really fucking stupid. The officers were.
How
good
much
with
is that
me.
ticket?
About $1,000. Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah, it's stupid. It's so stupid.
Then how are you gonna pay
here's
that?
The thing. Well, I could probably do it in payments. We'll figure it out. But the thing is, it's so stupid that this is still illegal. I don't hurt anybody. I wasn't high while driving. Number one.
Also, when you think about it,
and-
the people who are doing crimes and the people who have to do this for a living to make their money, you think they can afford, if I got a ticket for something like that, I wouldn't be able to pay it. No way easy at all. And you're going to charge the people that can't afford to do things because you're taking them away from the drugs that they have to sell
Right.
to make money. To
Yeah. It was
people do
like-
this not because they smoke it, but because they need it to for like their families, or they do it for medication
Survival
or pain relief.
reasons.
Right.
Yes.
But here's the thing,
like
it's like
practical.
in my case,
Oh,
I
look, he's
smoke it.
back.
There he is. There's Wolf. He'll put his headphones on in a minute. In my case, you know, I smoke it recreationally. I'm not
You
supposed
went
to,
and made him some fucking spaghettios or some shit.
but
No, is that cereal?
there he is.
That's cereal, right?
Wolf, I swear to God, every time we do the
Fuck yeah.
podcast and you get high,
I always got something.
Hey,
bro.
dude, I'm high right now.
we're all
I
high,
mean, that's
but
kind of the point of the
kind of the
podcast.
point of the
Yeah.
podcast.
Oh.
As long as they keep us on track,
Can
we're
you-
good.
Yeah.
Could you send me a link for the
I got it.
podcast so I
Yeah.
can shout
I
it
got
out
it.
and whatnot?
So, yeah. So
There you go.
basically, we you know, I'm being charged with this, and in the state of Utah, that's illegal. You can have a medical card and have up to an ounce on you if you have your medical card.
This wouldn't be an ounce, would it?
Yeah, that's an ounce or ounce to
Okay.
2. It's 1 to 2 ounces. No, half gram to a gram. That's what it is in the
Okay.
fluids. So, yeah. So you'd be fine if you had your medical card and you got pulled over and you have one of those, you're fine. They're not even gonna worry.
You see, the
about it.
thing in Nebraska is we don't have medical cards. We're still trying to push bills to like make sure that we
Yeah,
do
a
get
lot of
medical cards.
places. A lot of
I
places.
mean,
are in
here
that
I started
position.
seeing billboards pop up for them when I went to Tennessee for Thanksgiving, and when I came back, all of a sudden, you know, I just found out about Delta 8. I had never seen it advertised anywhere, but Nick's had done research because I, you know, had regular dab pens,
Right.
and he all the dealers are dry. You come to Texas, you can't get anything.
Yeah.
And so I keep seeing these billboards for CBD with kratom and Delta 8, and they don't say Delta 8 on the billboards. They just talk about CBD, but you see the little triangle with the 8 next to it because they don't want to
Yeah.
advertise it for people, you know, who aren't, you know, obviously looking for that kind of thing. But they're on top of that, other things are kicking, like kratom. Kratom I recently found about for pain, and they're pushing that now as,
It's
you know, something you
so-
can
I don't know.
take
Like I
and do.
said,
Like, on the border.
within the next 5 to 10 years, I think we'll have a lot more states legal. And
Yeah, because there's like how many are out there? I know Colorado is one of them. That
I
was
think
like
there's
back in like
13
2015.
fully legal, fully recreational legal.
Yeah, I
as
think we
of
looked this
right
up in
now.
another
Yeah, we looked this up.
podcast, but we were stoned. Obviously, we don't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 13, but you know, it's just tough because it's like a lot of people do it. There was a study done in Utah that 75% of adults in Utah smoke weed, and it's, you know, that's wild. But that's the study.
Is that
and it's,
young adults or older adults?
like from 20s up? So,
okay.
you know, paying taxes, college, whatever. There was like 75%. It's like, holy cow. It makes sense though, because, you know, this is a state where you're not supposed to do it, you know, but the thing is, it's everywhere, and yet we still treat it like this, you know, like, oh, you're a bad person, you know, just because you do that. So when people go to fucking jail for, what was it, 13 and a third years, it's so
Yes.
stupid. And this dude's just a normal guy. Just
Yeah.
He
you
had
know.
he had two like grown sons and two grown.
Yeah.
He had a son and a daughter.
Didn't he have a fiance too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, I completely forgot. Was fiance female or male?
Female.
Oh, because when I was watching that episode, it showed, you know, his fiance, but it was a dude right under the name. I mean, right above the name. So I was like,
No, there was they did a piece with his son and his dad. So
Yeah.
you're probably
Oh,
the son is when
okay.
they talked about the fiance, then they had the group call with his family
Yeah.
into him in
Okay.
jail. And that
Okay.
he mainly wanted to see how his son was doing, make sure he was taking care of his sister, you know,
Here's
make
the
sure his
thing.
fiance because he's the man of the house.
So
okay.
with that, you know, this dude was living, you know, his life, and then that happened. He gets put into prison or jail, depending on what happens. So, and I'm glad they explained kind of how the judicial system works with the you know, putting people in prison.
Process.
Yeah, the process. Basically, when you go to prison, you are, there are these giant. It's a cattle. We're cattle in there. I've been
Yeah.
myself. I've explained on the podcast. I went to prison. It's not fun. You're
You
just,
seriously went to prison,
yeah.
dude?
I went to prison.
For what?
I, I'll tell you after the podcast.
About it later.
We'll
Okay.
talk about it
Okay.
later.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I've already explained it on another episode of the podcast. So
But to sum up what I know you're going to say real quick is that a lot of the time prisons are already full, so there are private institutions that get paid to hold these prisoners.
Right.
So by cracking down on like marijuana law, like and drug laws, they make a lot of money by putting more people in them. The more people in
Yeah.
there, the more
Yeah.
money they get, and they don't use that obviously for like prison education programs or rehabilitation. They
no.
use that for
To-
facilities and then to pocket whatever they can keep from what the state will pay them.
Right. So what happens is these prisons get so full and packed. They have 100 people per chamber, just a bunch of dudes. Each have
No,
their own pod.
I think
and
it's
everything.
pod. I think it's pod
per
because
pod. Yeah.
Well, pod is when
Yeah.
there's cells. This was like literally there was a steel shed building
Yeah.
that they had sectioned off. So I'm
And
assuming it would all essentially have
So
one
in
big
those ones, it's
common
like-
area.
Yeah, it's just bunks. And
Oh,
it's,
so yeah,
it's-
what-
yeah.
So yeah, I guess you're right. It is
the flat
chamber.
floor. It's
Yeah,
just,
it would just be
it's weird.
one big
So
area.
and that's different. That's intake, and then you have sentenced. So sentenced is all just people that are, they're sentenced. They're serving their time. Sentenced
Well,
is the caged area. That's a
She
different
also
part.
talked about they could keep you for 60
Yeah.
days before they decide what to do with you. Then another 30 days to
Yeah.
sentence you, to decide to plead guilty or non-guilty. Most people plead guilty, which makes their crimes harsher.
It's bad.
Because they just accept the penalty just because they want to go home. They don't want to stay there and have to face
It's
trial
a-
and spend money on lawyers and everything
Exactly.
else.
It's a hellhole, and
It's a trap.
it's a trap. It's no, it's not fun. That's and so here's my thing is this dude that got caught with 2 joints, he shouldn't be in there. That is
No, you shouldn't be at all.
Whoa, bro, somebody that's a peaceful dude that's just chilling. Come on,
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
totally get what you're saying, man. Because hell, if that were me, I would want my sentence
Yeah.
reduced. And in Nebraska, we don't have that 3-strike law because we're just pretty laid back. I mean, we really don't, we don't put up with shit with other people, but we are very laid back. So we
Right.
just don't really think that the 3-strike law is like some sort of scare tactic that we shouldn't imply.
In my cases where I know people have had run-ins in the law, because I live in Texas, the South is very conservative. In most cases, police are very forgiving of marijuana. If you weren't driving, like they catch you in a parking lot smoking, they're gonna make you, at least in the cases that I've
yeah.
heard with my friends, is make you stamp it out, into the ground so you can't come back and get it
that
and
is
use
exactly
it.
how Nebraska is like too.
And in most cases they let you
Yeah.
go.
So with me, when I got pulled over and everything, I was honest with them, and I was good about it, and they understood that. But they've got to do their duty. He was explaining.
Yeah.
I've got to.
It's his job. He's
his
telling
job.
you he doesn't want to. He's
Right.
remorseful of having to
Yeah.
do it, but
Well,
it's
they were
literally
good
his
about
job.
it. They were good about it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, I understand. Sucks. Even if it's not yours, it's just the law." And I understood that, and I'll accept it. I'll take it. It was my mistake, and I don't know.
Yeah,
Just
I think
it's the after course of that. Sure, you get caught with it. It's the way the judicial system handles this shit that's so stupid. They're like, "Oh my god," they'll see this on a piece of paper and be like, "Oh, he was high while driving, maybe," and it's just, it's stupid.
well, it's also like partially with what yours is your car. Once you take possession of a car, whether it's yours or not, you're responsible for everything in the vehicle. Because like
Yep.
Scared Straight, Wolf
Yep.
said he also watched it, and that there was a girl who had her boyfriend's car. He had 3 throwing knives and a tomahawk there, and she took it to school,
Yep.
and she was going to get charged 10 years because there's a zero tolerance policy there,
Yep.
and she had 4 weapons in the car.
Yep. And
Wait,
And she was like 16.
What were the other weapons? You said tomahawk. What were the other ones?
3 throwing knives and a tomahawk, and then also
Oh,
she
3
personally
throwing
on her had a lighter and a pocket knife,
it's so dumb.
which is why they searched her car.
So, but you're still driving the vehicle, and then you're accountable. So.
Mhm. Yep.
That's just how it works. But I don't know. Our judicial system's a little wonky. We need correction big time. But this
Yeah.
is stuff that's going to take a long time to figure out because this is a system that's been set up for since the 60s, really. It's really started to build because Nixon, when was Nixon? Because they brought this up in the episode too.
I think.
Oh, and Nixon officially announced the drug on war.
Yeah,
War on drugs.
war on drugs.
Yeah, but I think Nixon was like
So
probably just getting into office.
President Nixon declares drug abuse public enemy number 1.
yeah,
June 17th, 1971.
71. Okay. So what happened was they classified what was safe to use in like pharmaceutical stuff and what was very dangerous. They took a giant program and they made this whole thing. Wasn't this on the show as well? I think this was on the show when we.
They just talked about the crackdown on it and when he declared it, and not necessarily, but like what it basically caused the rest of the legal system to be.
Thing I watched from Vice.
Oh, okay.
Vice covered this as well, so they talk about it in depth. He was in charge of. He took charge of the what is it? The class 3 narcotic, the heavy ones. Is it? What are they? How do they label them? The narcotics. There's a chain of them. But
yeah, I mean, class 1 is like, I think it's like, what is it? It's like LSD, marijuana, and cocaine.
Schedule 1. That's what it is.
Schedule 1.
So Schedule 1 drugs are LSD, marijuana, and mushrooms right now. Oh, and heroin. Well, I don't know if mushrooms are. I know LSD, heroin, and it might even be cocaine. I think is in there. So, the Schedule 1 drugs are the highest drug tier list.
There are 5 schedules of drugs.
Yes.
Schedule 1 is heroin, lysergic acid, LSD, marijuana, ecstasy, peyote, methaqualone.
So they
Schedule 2 is products of combination of hydrocodone, cocaine, methamphetamine, methadone, hydromorphone, oxy. Schedule 3 is like less than 90 milligrams of codeine with talon codeine, so like ketamine, anabolic steroids, testosterone. 4 would be Xanax, Soma, Darvon, Darvocet, Valium, Ativan.
It starts to get lower.
Tramadol. Tramadol's Schedule 4 drug. That's what they gave me for my kidney stones. Like that just took the pain off. I wasn't strong. It's fucking crazy.
But, so that's the list. Marijuana is Schedule 1, I believe. Still.
Yeah, it is Schedule, and then Schedule 5 is like Lomitol, Robitussin, Lyrica.
Yeah. So these. So
what about fentanyl?
Fentanyl is probably class 4.
Yeah,
I would guess.
Fentanyl, class 4. Okay.
But basically, they took these.
Fentanyl's Schedule 2.
Oh, it's Schedule 2.
What? You've got to be kidding me.
Yeah, so they
as dangerous as it is, it's Schedule 2.
They took these drugs and they scheduled them into these lists.
Oxy is 2.
It's a tier
and
list.
Tramadol is 4, and they preferred to just give me Tramadol to oxy my kidney stones. That's fucking crazy.
So, that's bullshit for fucking fentanyl being Schedule 2. Fuck that shit.
So here's the thing. Hold on. Here's the thing. We're getting off track. Slow down.
Pay attention, y'all.
Pay attention.
We're learning, and it's amazing.
Okay.
Y'all sounded like Eminem rapping just now for me.
I know. Fucking Wolf is high out of his mind.
Sick as shit.
So with the schedules, Nixon took personal care of the Schedule 1. He and the doctor he was working with help classify these. He took control of Schedule 1. He wanted all control of it. Marijuana got put in there, and then they were trying to vote it back down to Schedule 2. However, Nixon saw it as Schedule 1, and he signed it forward to be Schedule 1. Everyone else wanted to have it in Schedule 2, but he was like, oh, no, this is Schedule 1, a bunch of hippies. So, Nixon kind of screwed us over. Thanks, Nixon. Go fuck yourself. I'm just kidding.
When you think about it,
hey, there's the reason.
It was the 70s, right before summer of the 60s. It's not surprising marijuana ended up in there, and it's better that it at least ended up lower.
The fact that he just personally took over that, signing that bill forward was so stupid. But I mean, I get it. There needs to be.
It was a whole different time,
and there needs to be, a structure to this. However, with the way they did it, it just kind of screwed a lot of people over overall. I mean, this is the 60s. We're now in, what, 2022. Happy New Year's, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
I didn't even...
Yes,
yeah.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, we
Let's go.
didn't have last 2 podcasts, so we
Yeah,
could say
we
Happy
didn't.
New Year.
I
Yeah.
actually get to tell you guys a story about my New Year's party.
Happy New
but
Year's.
Dude, I have
We'll get
to
to
as
that.
well.
We'll get to that.
Perfect.
But yeah, this, so what do you guys think of the episode? I want to know your thoughts, because I have my personal, feelings towards this issue, but
Yeah, didn't you just spew them out already?
yeah.
I'm still fucking reeling from the fucking level of drugs.
Yeah.
I just got prescribed hydros for my kidney stone.
Yep. There's a whole tier list, and it's so stupid.
It's fucking crazy. I never thought about like actually looking into it, but
Yeah,
Dude,
there's a tier
I
list.
got prescribed hydros when I got my wisdom teeth pulled about a couple months ago.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm
Um,
surprised because they never wanted to give me like oxy or hydrocodons, but they're level 2. But what they prescribed me the most often was the tremolo, which is 4, which it just blows my mind.
Yeah.
That like
Yep. It's kind of stupid, but
Yeah. I guess my personal opinion on it was, I really didn't think the episode was that bad. I think it dove into a lot of what is actually wrong with the criminal justice system, which I'm not gonna lie, I do have to agree, even though, I'm a bit of a conservative when it comes to laws, but, it's right, and it's also, it's still got
Yeah.
its issues that it's got to work itself out, and like you said,
Right.
Garrett, it's gonna take like a shitload of time. I'm talking like maybe
5 to 10
I'm
years.
gonna-
I'm saying right
yeah,
now.
they
5 to
said the
10
next
Nah,
5 to 10
nah, I
years
don't-
is
I think 5 to
that
10
the baby
years.
boom die-off curve, and then more people actually getting involved in politics, voting into local, and to stay,
Well,
it goes
and that's
up
the
and
other
up
thing.
and up.
Yeah, as
I
generations move
personally,
forward.
I think it's gonna take probably 15, call it tops. I don't see it probably.
that
I don't see it probably
generations- that
ending.
I think there are
generation's
too many
almost out of
people
there.
nowadays that are growing in advocation, and especially informationally, like
Yeah.
What do you mean
like
by
weed is
growing in
bad. That's
advocation?
the stigma. But
That's
also,
the
people always
stigma.
said,
Right.
vaccines cause autism. They don't. That was some stupid psych jar people sent out, and
so here's
people
the
believe
thing.
it.
This is why I say it's 5 to 10 years. Look how big this is getting. We have medically legal states almost. There's like 27 medically legal states in the U.S.
Yeah, over
now.
half
Over
are
half
medically legal.
are medically legal. We have like 13 that are fully legal recreationally.
And there are like
So,
what
Yeah.
In our lifetime,
3 that don't have CBD, so that's like
Yeah.
legal.
in our
everywhere.
lifetime, we've seen this from the 70s to now. It's starting to turn around a little bit. That's why I'm saying 5 to 10 years, because every place now is starting to. There's a lot of places going legal. I don't know.
And there's some form of it there already.
Right. And once a lot of states are starting to fully legalize it, shit's going to change, because people are like, well, it's working out for them. This is $1 billion industry. It's crazy.
They're making tax money on it. It's good for the
Tax
state. It's
money.
good for the government.
Colorado's budget went through the roof. They had $22 million extra dollars from tax revenue from the state because of their boost in marijuana.
And hilariously, I
production.
saw this bit somewhere else. But states where it's legal, they're having to drop the taxes on dispensaries, so the
Yeah.
dispensaries can compete with illegal sales of marijuana
Yeah.
in the states, so they can beat the drug dealers.
Yeah, so it's crazy. The whole thing it's big. It's big right now. And I think once governments realize that a lot of people are doing it and a lot more states start to fully legalize it, they're going to be like, "Okay, well, what's the deal with this? Like why are they doing this?" And then, they start to ask questions, and then they see all the evidence. Look how much
Yes.
money is being raised. Look at it. Look at this. Look at all
And not to mention, look at all the people that are cured from.
Yeah.
I mean, but you
smoking
also
this
have to think
little
about the
tiny flower.
perspective we think about weed being legal and tax money. Is it weird to think that the people that are working in the prison system that are getting money per inmate feel that same way about we're keeping people off the streets? They're not doing those things for
Right.
people who either don't understand or have that mentality that they're making money for their state because they're housing these people
yeah,
who they
no,
feel
if I
are
was
dangerous
an
because of the
inmate-
laws of their state. Like as giddy as we feel
Yeah.
about marijuana coming, it's crazy to think that people have that perspective on the opposite side.
If I was to be arrested in a state, if I was to be arrested for, say, this possession charge, whatever, if I was to be arrested for that, go to jail, and then, if I was sitting in there and I'm watching on the news, oh yeah, the state's
I'll be right back.
decided
I'm gonna go
to-
get me another glass of water.
You're good. The states decided to, change the laws. Things are changing. We can do this medically here if you have a card. I would be furious because it's like, I was just chilling. Like, and now
Or to
you're starting
be in a legal state and then get caught doing it in an illegal state and be like, I medically do this. And
Right.
I would assume you could still be charged with a medical card in an illegal state.
Yep, you can. So it's, I don't know. There's a lot of issues, but they're figuring it out. So, but yeah,
Very slowly.
very slowly.
Mm-hmm.
But so happy New Year's, guys.
Well,
It's been
If we want it done, we want it done right.
right. It's been wild. We've reached a new year, 2022. It's weird to say that because I'm still stuck on 2020. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. It feels like 2020 never really ended, kind of just blended into 2021. I don't know.
I wish I could say the same. I've had to write my birth date and today's date on more than enough medical forms for all of
It's
my
weird.
life to always know what day it is. Like, even today, I went to the doctor's today, I went to the doctor's yesterday. The day before that, I probably should have went to the doctor's.
Right. Yeah, no, it's if you're doing that shit, you'll keep the dates won't fuck you up. But me, if I sign a piece of paper, I'm like, oh shit, wait a minute. It's 2022 now. It's 2022 now. What the fuck? Like, I look at my watch.
You just look down and you're just like, I wrote 2018. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Right?
You ever do that? You just like
Yeah,
completely
I've
forget
done
what
that.
year it is.
I'm like 2017. Wait. Oh shit.
That was
that's on
actually
my
me
ring.
2 days ago.
Yeah.
Do you know it's usually because you're in places where those dates made sense? Like if you go back to visit your high school or something like that, you'd want to write a date that was memorable for you in that year because your brain is telling you, oh, you're at high school right then.
Yeah, no, it's weird. But
I miss high school, to be
I
honest.
do too. I loved high school. High school was fun for me.
I must be a proud person of marching band.
I loved marching.
I hated
It was
it.
great.
I hated it, but we were good.
It was fun. It was fun. I played snares. Let's see. So
We had like
and I was a
200
band
people in our
nerd.
marching band, 6A.
I was
school.
a band nerd, so I
Are you
think
a nerd?
you, me, and Jaden are all band
Jade.
nerds. Yeah.
I still have 2 instruments, 2 of the 3 ones I learned to play, because I don't own a mellophone, but I own a French horn and a trumpet.
Yeah. That's cool. I have guitars, several, and my amp. I still play.
I
occasionally.
had an acoustic, but my hands were too small and I had trouble, so I gave it to my brother. Or one of my brothers.
So,
Fried chicken.
hell yeah.
Hey, do you know how you
So-
said you get that munchie about almost everything like tastes good and you have to eat it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
that's a regular
that's me right now.
Being
Yeah,
a stoner
that's-
makes me wish
that's
Wendy's
me.
came out with 20-piece nuggets.
Bro, I
'Cause they
love
should.
Wendy's. I eat Wendy's way too much because
Okay, I
lately
gotta
I've
say
been
chicken
eating-
nuggets, I want Wendy's, but if I want a chicken sandwich, I'm gonna get me like 10 McChickens.
Yeah. No, I love Wendy's. Wendy's is great because they have the Baconator, the most American.
I have a friend that works at a
most
Wendy's.
American burger ever made, dude. The whole thing is a block
Dude.
of grease. Have you seen this fucking burger? Let's talk about this.
Yes,
fucking burger.
I
fucking
always get a
hell, that's
baconator. We're
good.
gonna
Hold on.
talk about
With this
bacon.
Baconator, they were like, let's fucking cram as many fucking calories as we can into this thing. The top bun is soaked with grease. All right. Under that, you got the mayo. That is also grease. What's next? We got bacon.
Ketchup.
Bacon is bacon.
It's
well,
mayo and ketchup.
yeah. All right. There's sauce. Still grease. Oils. Then you throw the bacon in there. Then the fucking cheese, and it's just, bruh.
Patty, then another cheese, bacon,
Yeah,
and patty.
Bacon patty. It's just
Dude.
one giant block of fat, and I love it.
I have
okay?
one in
I
my
love it.
fridge.
Dude, fuck yes.
I have one in my
It is-
fridge. I got one yesterday, and half of
is-
it's still in that bitch.
It is the most American
Dude.
burger ever made. I swear, it is
Dude,
amazing.
I totally agree with you, dude. But if I ever go to Wendy's, I'm getting me about fucking 10 Dave's triple hot and juicy, baby. That
All
10.
right.
No,
All right.
5 of
Nothing
those.
is
5 of
more
those
American
motherfuckers.
than there's a Whataburger sandwich that is like
Oh, I
it's
love
it's
Whataburger.
chicken
I live
strips.
in-
It's chicken strips with like pepper jack cheese and barbecue sauce. It's like a chicken strip, and then it's between Texas toast. Like like toasted, thick buttered, garlic heavy buttered bread. And I'm like, that's American as fuck. All of it is.
Yeah. No, that's
Like,
I love Wendy's. Actually, Wendy's or no, KFC, not Wendy's. I love KFC too. So KFC actually
KFC, yes.
started in my state, which is awesome. I didn't know that till I moved to
really popular in the UK.
Yeah, I moved to Salt Lake, and I found out that the first KFC was built right here. I was like, oh shit, let's go.
Sonics and Whataburgers.
Sonics are good. So Sonic Drive.
A Route 44 drink serves. Oh, that's so bad for you. It's so much sugar. It's like
it's
the drive-through
diabetes.
big gulp.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking crazy.
All right, so let's talk about New Year's. We were all pretty busy for Thursday. You couldn't make it because you were.
I was in extreme pain.
Yeah, and I was.
From my kidney stone, it was active at the time.
Wolf, I don't know what everyone else was doing, but
I was asleep.
yeah. So
Yeah, and then
it kind of died, and Jaden was busy, and so it was like, all right, so we won't do a podcast. But this week, I want to talk about what I did for New Year's. Let me tell you, it was the wildest New Year's I have ever had in a
Seriously?
ever, probably, yes, ever. So I go to the bar. It's New Year's Eve. No, it was New Year's Day.
Fucking this.
New Year's Day, because New Year's Eve I DJ'd for Parties Up.
You DJ'd for us and you DJ'd for
Yeah.
Lit. Or not for Lit, for
Fricked Up. I DJ'd
Fricked
for
Up.
his club. Yeah. So I DJ'd into New Year's, which was fun. Nice slept. And then the next day, next night I go to the bar that I like to go to. It gets pretty wild there, especially on New Year's. I got fucked up. So I start playing pool with a bunch of friends of mine. And we are fucked up. Anyway, so I go out back. I'm chatting.
We are fucked up.
Bro,
We are fucked up.
I've already heard this. It's
So
wild.
this story
It's
gets
a bit
crazy.
wild.
So we're at the bar. We're getting really fucked up. We're playing pool. And I go in the back. Or there's this little, back patio. And this dude goes, hey, want some mushrooms? It's New Year's. I'm like, bruh. I don't get these very often, so fuck it. All right, New Year's party. Let's go. So I take the mushroom. All right, so I'm there. An hour goes by, and I'm starting to fucking trip. My friend Felicity shows up, and she's like, hey, what's up? We're playing pool. I'm like, hey, what's up? She's like, come here. We go out back. I'm smoking. She's like, you want a bump? I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Bro, I'm tripping on mushrooms, and you just asked if I want cocaine? Hell yeah, I do.
Oh my god.
So I did a line of cocaine. Bro. And then, not only that,
Dude, you got super fucked up.
I had this in my car. So I was like, fuck it, let's get high. So I went in my car and I fucking took a couple rips of that. So now I was already pretty drunk before I did the mushrooms. And then I did some cocaine. So now my blood's like, so. And then I decided to smoke weed. And so I am on 4 different drugs. I am fucked up. And I'm like, I'm starting to trip really fucking hard. And I'm like, I gotta go home. Because if I don't leave now, I won't make it. So, I'm glad I left when I did, because I was starting to really, really trip to where I couldn't drive if I was to actually drive. So I'm okay at this point, but I'm starting to peek into shit. So I'm like, fuck, I gotta get home. So I dash out the door. I'm driving home, get home, and I sit down on my computer, and I'm like, fuck. And there were a bunch of parties going on that night. I tripped balls in VR the entire night. I was fucked up. I don't know if were you hanging with me, Tiger? I don't know if you were there.
I know I heard about it, and I was mad at you.
Fuck, I was fucked up. I
think I was mad at you because you didn't call me. I don't think I heard from you that whole day.
I was.
Oh
I
no,
was
that's
drunk.
the day I was sick.
Oh,
that's the day I
what
got
it was,
sick.
yeah.
I remember I took crepe with
Yeah,
alcohol,
that's
and
right.
I couldn't even get out of
No,
bed.
we
I
were-
was like,
Yeah.
ugh.
So that was my New Year's. I don't know how yours went, but I'd love to hear about it.
So we're not picking on people. Okay. Well, I pretty much just, I was at the Midnight Munchies Theater, which Gear, I know you went
Yeah.
to a bunch of times,
Yeah.
and as a matter of fact, this motherfucker right here, excuse me,
Wow. Wow.
plays the best
believe you said
fucking
that.
guitar ever.
Yeah, I'm all right. I play.
Yeah, dude. But I also want to let you know I'm actually gonna be purchasing a Fender acoustic concert
Hey.
series
Wow.
acoustic, which I'm very very excited
That's
for.
awesome.
I'm
Acoustics
I'm gonna
are
be
great.
purchasing that bitch tomorrow.
Yeah, acoustics are great.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
they
So,
are,
do you
dude. They
play or
are.
are you gonna learn?
I did play, like back at like 2 years ago, and then I got my hand fucked up, so I'm basically trying to do some rehab
Ah,
for it.
okay. Yeah, it is
Um,
tricky.
Instruments is good in general. Like you and me,
Yeah.
like
See,
I have a bad arm. I use that for my friend shorthand
I have
because
a
luckily you
keyboard.
play,
I have a keyboard
left-handed.
as well. I love my
yeah,
keyboard. I love musical instruments right now. I'm DJing for a lot of places. I've been working on music and
yeah.
it's been fun. I found a producer at the Mend Your Mind Festival. That's the other thing I need to talk about. We didn't talk
Okay.
about this on I think I mentioned it before. I think we've talked about what it was. I want to talk about how big it was. So the festival started Sunday night and went all the way to Friday in preparation for New Year's. The goal was to raise.
Wait, do these like events ever like shut down at all?
Yeah, so
They
it
shut down at
started.
night.
Yeah. So it's 10 hours.
Okay.
10 hours.
Okay.
So it went from Sunday to Friday in preparation for New Year's. I DJ'd on day two. They had 50 DJs, so 10 per day. It was wild. We had an hour apiece, and the whole goal of this was to raise money for awareness in mental health. Um, so it was really cool. The original goal was $1,000. We were just hoping we could get that, and within by the second day, we were already at $3,000 when I was DJing. We were already at $3,000
Damn.
by the second day. It was taking off. It was awesome. So we had so many DJs. I met a lot of cool people in VR chat. It was really successful, and the goal, the reason we were trying to hit the 5K mark was because if we did, the guy who has set this whole thing up would have to wear an outfit, a maid outfit of our choosing, and he would have to wear either like really sexually lingerie type maid outfit shit, or whatever we could pick and make. So, bro, it was awesome. So by day 4, we'd already hit 6K, and now we were trying to bring the staff into it. So the main staff that helped put this together, we were like, if we get to 7K, the staff will have to also take part in this. So it was really funny because by the time we hit 5K, everyone lost their shit. We were like, oh, Fly's gotta get in a fucking maid's costume. Let's go. We were all getting hyped. And Fly was just like, oh, fuck, god damn it, because we get to pick the outfit. He has to wear it. The picture's great. I can't show it because it's kind of an inside joke thing, but it's great. Like he's in like the sexiest lingerie as a dude. He's like, eh. It's awesome. The picture's great.
I know those pictures.
So, but it was great because the cause was good, and it was so crazy to see how big it got because the VR chat community came together and was like, oh yeah, let's support this.
This was in VR chat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Oh, I thought this was like an
No.
actual DJ
No,
event.
no.
It
Well,
was. It
but
was in
it's
VR
virtual.
chat.
It's virtual. Yeah.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
virtual clubs.
That's where the confusion set
Okay.
in.
So how it worked was all those DJs, they would stream, they would DJ for their hour, and then it would go to the next one. We also had dancers, and it was basically a giant
Exotic.
fucking rave in VR chat. And let me tell you, some of those
Yeah.
DJs were crazy. I mean, it was so fun. I met some cool DJs. I met my producer. Now I have a producer, so I met my producer there. It was a festival. It was insane, and I had a blast. So
Yeah. And then Argo, I think you stopped by our New Year's event for the party.
Yes, I did. Before.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I
So
did before
imagine
the,
that, but it's an instance that holds 80 to 100 people.
Yep.
Raving,
That is
throughout the day,
fucking
and then 10 hours straight, 2 DJs per day between these 2 time slots. playing music 2 hours apiece for 5 days straight.
Yeah, it was huge, and it was a festival.
That's
so
fucking awesome.
So the map was massive. The festival was just huge. It was a great turnout. Every night, the first instance that holds 100 people, within 30 minutes was packed. Then they'd open up the next instance, and it would get packed. By night 5 on Friday, all the instances, there were like 5 instances just packed with people because it was like the Friday night. It was packed. It was awesome. It was a great thing to have happen. And we reached our goal was originally 1,000, and we ended up making $8,400 for that charity. So
fuck yeah, that's awesome, dude.
And because of the time we picked, since it's December, which is Mental Health Awareness Month, since we did it on this month, they will be matching dollar to dollar. So instead of 8,400, it is 16,800. Yeah. So crazy.
That's fucking beautiful.
And that was all just the VR chat community. That's why I loved this project. It was so cool because you got to see.
Dude, you actually
involved.
just gave me a good fucking idea, and that idea was, how about hosting a rock event? You know, like Rock Am Ring in fucking Germany at the fucking Nürburgring and shit like that. Why not do that for all the not mental, what the fuck am I saying? Metal artists like myself that can do a festival for like the same cause.
You can do that. Anyone can do that as long as you associate with clubs or personages big enough. Because this was a collab of a lot of different clubs in VR sending their DJs to the event.
Over
so there's like 13?
30.
30.
Yeah, 30 clubs in VR chat that were part of this. So it was big. But to do something like that took months and months of planning. We started planning this in October, and so we had to get everybody involved and on board, which was hard because so this started actually. No, I guess it was October because I was there when there were like 6 people in the Discord. So because I was the second DJ they asked to actually be part of it, so I was like, oh, okay. Which was really cool. I had a blast DJing. I was nervous. I was so nervous, bro, because
it's just gonna catalyst into more stuff happening like that, and like people who are already doing smaller clubs that do like smaller charity runs for them to gain more recognition through their cause.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay,
you just have to find like great people to host and support, because even if it's not big, anyone looking around that charity scene or the way you promote it really decides how it turns out.
It was awesome. It went really well, and I don't know how to describe it. It was just good, and it was an honor to be a part of something that went really like big like it did. So hopefully next year it'll be even bigger, and we'll see what happens next year. It's gonna be crazy. But it was really cool because I was playing at a virtual festival, so I'm playing at the best of the best. You don't get the beginner GJs at this stuff. How do I word it? Like this.
You've had to already kind of make a name and have a presence to get invited to a large event that's being very heavily trusted between a lot of clubs working together.
It's not easy to get into these things if you're trying to and you don't have access or know anybody. It's really hard. But I had the honor to be able to play and be a part of it. So hopefully next year I'll be at, one of the main, because Wednesday night seemed to be the night everybody was on. So it was, Wednesday and Friday, but we'll see. The problem was we got all the DJs in there. There were over 70 DJs that wanted slots.
GG in the chat right now.
GG in the chat. What's he saying?
Yeah, GG, the one who asked about our podcast earlier. I didn't want to interrupt him. There he is. And since it's not the podcast, it's the Twitch, I can use my little post-its to be non-interruptive.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Going back to what I said, I pretty much just, as soon as I got onto the Midnight Munchies world, I just pretty much, we have this thing at the theater where we say when Manifesto says Sparko, we say Bolo, and we get high.
Bolo, yeah.
Yeah. Get high alongside him. And by the time I've taken like my 5th hit, I was wasted. I was so wasted. And it was actually a good time because we had a lot of good artists there and stuff like that. And we even did countdowns for all the time regions across the U.S. and
Yeah,
just
it's
basically.
you know, I've been there a couple times to Midnight Munchies. Really cool place, and I like
Yes,
the way he does things. His jokes are cringy as shit, but that's how he is. So he does have those really just your
dude, I
mom
saw
type
his
jokes. You
shit.
know.
Yeah, I saw it. Before he even did this, he was Road Rash, the famous American Outlaw biker, and he fucking did comedy night videos. And dude, they were just fucking platinum. They weren't even
Yeah.
gold at that point.
No, he's a cool dude, and I like what he does
Yeah,
because he's trying to spread awareness of like, hey, I smoke weed. You guys, let's do this. But that's the other
yeah,
thing we've talked about this a lot in VR chat is like,
a
uh,
godsend.
it is. It's an interesting platform because a lot now with all the quests and the Quest 2s that are out, everybody bottom up. You're seeing a higher usage and growth in the game, which I think is great. But
Yeah, I
it's
mean that's how
it's
I. That's why I bought my Quest was just basically to get on VR chat.
yeah the
As a matter of
growth
fact,
in
I
it.
met my ex fiance on VR chat. I'm not talking about that situation ever again.
Oh god. The growth in VR chat's really good, but here's the thing:
Yeah, dude,
with
it's
with
like the next
events,
Oasis.
it's starting to change. Though you're seeing a lot more adults play it, which is good. I want it that way. I think it should be that way, because it is a very mature game.
Not the wrong kind.
It's just, you know, so it depends. You got to know where you're going, obviously. So if you're a first timer in VR chat, you're probably not going to know about all the clubs in that scene because it's a whole world. It's pretty crazy how it's evolved, but I'm glad that there's a lot more adults in VR chat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm honestly quite thinking about just applying for a job there, just to be like an admin or something. But
that'd be wild.
not right now. Not right now.
So yeah, Wolf, what did you do for your New Year's? Uh,
Which
Uh,
one?
I'll call you Argo because your name's like
Thank you,
Argo.
please.
Yeah.
See, look, I changed your name in the server. It says Argo44_Wolf. I swapped
All
them because
right.
people will call you by
Oh,
whatever is
thank
first
you.
in your
There you go.
name.
Okay.
So
Thank you,
Argo.
Senpai.
Yeah.
figured I'd make
I'll
it
call him
easier.
Argo, and then we got Wolf. All right. So Wolf, how was your
Okay.
New Year's?
it was alright. Pretty much spent half the day with my mom because it was her birthday, literally January 1st.
Oh, hell
And
yeah!
Oh,
then,
okay.
Oh, cool.
January
yeah,
baby, just like me. Let's go.
Emmy.
yeah. And, what's it called? After I spent half the day with her for her birthday and whatnot, I got into VR chat and I started drinking because it was my mom's birthday. It was a good day and whatnot.
Right.
So I went to this DJ event and I got fucked up.
Hell yeah.
Fucking half of my friends, they couldn't even find me half the time because I was just sitting in the corner staring at the fucking wall talking to myself.
Fucked up, bro. That's crazy.
Dude, he got
It was a
so
good night.
fucked up.
Hell yeah.
It was a good night.
I believe Tiger was streaming into New Year's, if I'm not mistaken. But
Yeah.
I think.
no.
Wait, no.
My New Year's was my New Year's Eve was the event,
Oh, okay. I thought you were streaming.
and then my New Year's was me being extremely sick.
Oh, that's what it was.
So
No, it was game day. That's what I was thinking of.
yeah, I tried
Yeah.
to host a game day while I was like violently ill, and I was like, nah, I'm not
Yeah.
doing it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just DJ'd into New Year's, which was fun. Then got really fucked up on New Year's and was very happy to be home and safe because I was about to lose my mind because I was on 4 different drugs. But Argo's
Stop
shirt.
bragging.
Oh, I'm gonna brag. That was fun. All right. Argo's.
Share the drugs. It's not fair, man.
Here's the other thing. I usually don't buy that stuff. It's usually offered. So I'm like, oh, fuck
I
it,
know, fuck
let's
you
go.
It's
too.
like,
I can't
let's
get it. I'm
go.
gonna give it to me when I get it. I gotta pay for it.
Yeah. So Argo's hoodie reminded me to show him this. I think he might know what this is, but
Oh fuck yes,
I'll-
dude. That is fucking
I'll bet-
beautiful.
I'll bet you can't guess what
The
year
way
this
you
came
feel
out.
about the album is how I feel
Oh
about
my
first edition
gosh.
Pokemon cards.
I really don't remember when Back in Black came out. It was
This
like
is
was in the-
1973. This is an original right here. An original
that
1973
all
copy of
that is all
Back in Black.
original.
Yep.
Dude, if
I
you ever
thought that
take her
said
to an
Death Note.
AC/DC concert, make sure you get them to sign
yeah.
that fucking thing.
Well, here's the thing. I love AC/DC. They're the reason I play guitar. I have
Mhm.
my guitar tattooed. You know, I
Dude, that's actually fucking beautiful.
yeah. I've been playing for 12 years. So if it wasn't for that album, I wouldn't be playing guitar. So, hell yeah,
Dude,
My
Love
it.
stepdad does a lot of art, and the art cover for the Kills album Destroyer, he did. I'll send the picture of the album to uh, the server, but essentially he redid it all on black paper, all color pencils, like he redraws our album arts. Like he has a full one of Rolling Stones, he did a full one of like Lenny Kravitz, like all
Dude,
these
fucking
beautiful
Lenny,
old,
That's
he's a
big
good.
version hand drawn
Right.
of those like record album
Yeah.
covers.
those are fun.
But in general, this was the album cover he
There it is.
did, and he did it, full poster board size of that. And then I think I can find the Rolling Stones album that he did too.
It's pretty cool because it's you know, the
Wait,
All my
he
mom
did
sent me the
older-
pictures, and I'll send his later.
The older ones are great. The Back in Black album, yeah. So
Yeah.
I actually have the other album. I collect albums. I'm a record collector. I'll actually
Yeah.
show you some of my favorites. I love classic rock, so
Yeah. Any way, I guess the main reason why I play guitar is because any album from like A Day to Remember, which has been my childhood band since I've learned how to fucking walk. I think my favorite album out of them was Common Courtesy, which has got a bunch of songs that I like on there, and that's basically the main reason why I'm trying to learn how to play guitar too.
So, AC/DC released this, which is the Power Up album, which was great. This came out 2019 or 2020. I think it was 2020. So, this is kind of their last hurrah. I don't think they're going to be making an album after this, but they still got it. Love AC/DC.
Unless, wait, are they announcing retirement?
They're old. They're in their Malcolm passed away, so that kind of dampened things. Angus is still kicking it at 60. I think he's 70. I think he just turned 70. So Brian is 73. He's the lead singer. Their drummer Phil Rudd is 69, and so they're all up there in age. But so that's the tough thing. Then you have this one of my favorites of all time.
Yes, Ride
Ride
the
the
Lightning.
Lightning.
My favorite.
Classic.
Wait, isn't there actually a song in there called Ride the Lightning?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Title
that's
track.
also my favorite. Yeah, that's my favorite song along with For Whom the Bell Tolls.
Great songs. Then
Yes.
little Fleetwood Mac. My mom got me into Fleetwood Mac years ago, so gotta love
My
it.
mom's a big fan of Stevie Nicks.
Yeah. Good stuff. My mom loves that. This one I just picked up. It's one of my favorites. A little
Does that have All Along the Watchtower?
oh yeah, it's got most of them. Purple Haze, Wind Cries Mary, Hey Joe. Yeah, a little bit of Jimi Hendrix. Another one of my big inspirations for playing guitar because his solos are amazing.
Dude,
And
one of my biggest inspirations, I'd have to say, is BB King.
I love BB King too. Good stuff,
Mhm.
blues. And then my other 1973 favorite, Dark Side of the Moon. Let's go.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
This is an original. It's good
That's
stuff.
original?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Where do you
Originals.
find all your original shit?
Do you ever just go through old pictures and like realize you have shit you haven't thought about in forever?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I found the original x-ray of my arm when we first learned that my bone was hollow and I had a benign tumor in it before I had, 3 arm surgeries and a leg surgery for it. I found the original fucking x-ray, and you can just see like that big hollow gap is just all tumor that's like embedded on the inside of the bone. It's crazy. I posted it to the staff thing. I was looking for the pictures I thought I sent to somebody of my dad's drawings, and I found this instead. It's wild to think about.
Yeah. So, we are at the end of the podcast.
Man, it was
Yeah,
such
I
a good
know.
time.
I know. It's crazy. It's been a
I didn't
it's been a
speak
while.
out the time.
I
I'm
know.
high as
Wolf,
fuck.
you did compose yourself good, and I appreciate that. So thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's been
Wait, before we go off the air, can I say a little PSA real quick?
yes.
Huge shout out to Revline for letting me talk about them. It's my new racing team that I'm a part of, and we're gonna start making some good history along the way. We're actually just an up and coming e-racing team in the world of iRacing and NASCAR. So I urge you guys to come check us out when we stream, because this guy is going to be winning more championships than any other driver out there on that circuit. So make sure you guys give Revline Racing a follow.
All right. Little free promo there. We normally don't do that, just so you know.
I'll,
Special.
I'll send you $5. Don't worry.
Don't worry about it. But just so you know in the future. But yeah,
Got it.
Thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a wild one. Happy New Year's to all of you. We'll be live next week. I don't know if we'll do the video thing or not. We'll figure it out. You know, that's how this podcast is. We just have fun, relax, and enjoy ourselves. So thanks for watching, listening, and enjoying. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Later.